probably be like, fair enough, that's how the business works.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Like, that's, yeah.